Japanimation Station.
Hello and welcome to a special preview episode of Japanimation Station, an anime podcast brought to you by Sean Chapman
and Jonathan Lack.
And we are here to tell you about our upcoming journey, peering into the delightfully deranged mind of Tomino Yoshiyuki on Season 6, our Tomino-thon.
Long-awaited, Sean. Very long-awaited, because I think when we premiered Japanimation Station way back in the day, we promised this as one of our seasons. We got a little sidetracked. We were in Kyoto for a really long time.
Yes.
You know, we learned about Lupin III. We decided to just do a bunch of...
We went back to Kyoto a couple of times.
Yeah, we decided to do a bunch of random stuff. We, saw the entire works of Type Moon and all of their stuff with UFO Table. We've had a lot of fun. But look, Japanimation Station started out as an outgrowth of Weekly Suit Gundam, which was our completely unexpected journey into the world of Mobile Suit Gundam. And of course, through Mobile Suit Gundam, we met our dear, close personal friend, Tomino Yoshiyuki, the creator of Gundam. And we have needed to go back and do all of his non-Gundam stuff for a while. And that is what Tomino-thon is. Tomino-thon is going to be our journey through the full context of the mind of Tomino, and it is premiering on March 15th, 2026, airing on Sunday nights at 6 p.m. Central on YouTube, moving that up a little bit based on some listener feedback, and then everywhere Mondays at midnight, well, Sundays at midnight, which becomes Monday, on podcast platforms everywhere for our Tomino-thon. Sean, how do you feel? We've been working on this for a long time. This has been a season we've put a stupid amount of work into.
Yeah, no, it's been a long time coming. I mean, as you said, this was really, even before Japanimation Station, this was kind of the first idea of what we're going to do post Weekly Suit Gundam.
Yes.
Before we kind of shifted being like, it would be fun to be able to cover a broader range of things and made a more general anime podcast. And I also think it was like we just needed some time to come back to relook at the world of Tomino. And yeah, I think it's a very exciting season. I have bought and imported 3 different books from Japan for this season. So it is definitely like the densest and kind of most thorough research we've ever done for one of our seasons so far, which I think is very, very befitting for Tomino because there is a lot of material because he's obviously a really seminal figure in the whole industry.
Yeah. So just so people know, we've been working on this actively since Season 5 finished. I think we started recording in October last year when we finally started getting the episodes recorded. So we've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes. Part of why this is premiering later than we expected is the season also just got longer, both in the amount of stuff we're doing, but also in the amount of time we're taking to do it. There are we're going back into the 70s and 80s with anime, so we have a lot of 50-episode shows. We've decided to split those up in a way we really didn't when we did Weekly Suit Gundam, but I think today is more amenable to how we do stuff. And as part of that, we are also splitting this season into 2 parts. We're doing, basically, if you're an anime viewer, we're doing a split core. We're going to do one core on. We're going to have 12 episodes that'll be everything up to the premiere of Zeta Gundam. Zeta Gundam will be the premiere of part 2 of the season. So we're going to go from March 15th to the end of May. That'll be Season 6, Part 1, what I am calling Tomino-thon Part 1, The New Anime Era, which I think is a fitting description of the episodes we'll be doing here. And we'll tell you more about those in a second. And then after maybe another 10 or 12 weeks off, so just take another core, basically, we will come back for another 12 to 13 episodes, which will be Tomino-thon Part 2, the Tears of Time. And that will begin with Zeta Gundam and go through Reconquista in G. And I think these are two very distinct half seasons also, because that first half season is that journey that begins with Tomino's early career, everything up to the point where he eventually comes back to Gundam. And of course, we know when he comes back to Gundam, he stays for a while. And so the second half of the season will be dominated by us revisiting some Gundam works, along with some very exciting, obscure, interesting non-Gundam stuff like Brain Powered and Overman King Gainer and all of that good stuff. And so I think these will be fairly distinct half seasons as well. And I think this will allow us to get these episodes out consistently, but as good as we can make them. And I think this is the right way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it hadn't even occurred to me that literally it does count out to exactly a proper 2-core structure. Yeah. 24 episodes split into 2 halves of 12 episodes. It's very appropriate. We didn't plan it on originally being that way, but it has worked out that way.
It's basically what it's going to be. I think a 12 to 13 episode season is like what's most comfortable for us to make and be able to premiere.
Yes.
So when we do longer seasons like this, I think this is the right way to do it. And we'll have that split in the summer, but I will just say, we are well ahead of the game enough that I do not anticipate any major delays in any of that. I think we are in good shape. And also the second half has fewer 50 episode monstrosities for us to work through. So that'll be easier as well. But let's go ahead and explain what we're going to be doing for these episodes, Sean, for the first half. So at least for Season 6, Part 1, the new anime era, let's tell people what their anime homework is. We're going to have our first episode on March 15th is an intro to Tomino episode where we'll give background on him and kind of his history getting into the industry and take a look at 2 early shows he worked on. Mighty Atom, aka Astro Boy, which he was not there at the very beginning of, but started on pretty early and became the dominant director in the second half of that series. And then we will also be talking about Triton of the Sea, which was his first show as a director, though not with the same, obviously, degree of creative control he would have in later works, because it's nominally based on a Tezuka manga. That's a crazy story, and we're excited to talk about that.
Yes, I did end up watching all of Triton of the Sea, which was not a thing we originally even planned on doing, was just to taste of it. But yes, it's a very interesting show, very obscure show. So again, we're not covering it as a proper own dedicated episode, but one that does, I think, fit into the background of how does Tomino go from being a guy who, didn't even want to be in anime to being like one of the most prolific storyboard and directors in the early period of the industry.
Yep, the week after that, we will have Invincible Super Man Zambot 3 from 1977. That's a 23-episode anime, and it is where he gets the name Kill 'Em All Tomino, and we'll tell you all about it. Then we have Invincible Steel Man Daitarn 3 from 1978, which is where he learns how to make episodic television, and is a very fun one to talk about. Also comes up with...
meet a very fun man named Hadan Banjo.
Then we have a very special episode revisiting the original Mobile Suit Gundam, which is not a show we needed to review again. We've done it very thoroughly, but it is a show we take a different historical look at in the context of these other series. And so if you want to watch the 43 episodes of Mobile Suit Gundam, that is never a bad idea. That is always a good idea. And we will be doing that as our 4th episode. Then the rest of the season are 2-parters for the other shows in this era. We have 2 episodes on Space Runaway Ideon, 1 on the 39-episode TV series, and 1 on the 2 follow-up films that ultimately conclude the story of that show in delightfully deranged fashion.
Yes, a contact and the greatest subtitle for movie ever, Space Runaway, The Ideon, Be Invoked.
Yeah. Then we've got 2 episodes on Combat Mecha Zabungle. The specific split point for that, for those wondering, is we're doing episodes 1 through 26 on one episode, and then episodes 27 through 50 on another, where we will also briefly talk about Zabungle Graffiti, the compilation film that is a very weird part of the Zabungle legacy. Then we have Aura Battler Dunbine from 1983, where we will be splitting that a little more unevenly, but for reasons that will become clear, with episodes 1 through 19 in the first episode, and episodes 20 through 49 in the second episode. And we'll be finishing part 1 of the season with Heavy Metal L-Gaim from 1984, and we're going to split that one right down the middle, because that is where you have the theme song turnover, the L-Gaim becomes the L-Gaim Mark II. So we're just going to do episodes 1 through 27, and then 28 through 54, and that will be the end of Season 6, Part 1, and then in Season 6, Part 2, we'll do everything else. Not sure how we'll divide this up yet, because these are the ones we haven't recorded and haven't worked on yet. But we'll be doing Zeta Gundam, Double Zeta, Char's Counterattack, F91, Victory Gundam, then into stuff we've never talked about before, like Garzy's Wing, Brain Powered, Turn-A Gundam, we've talked about before, Overman King Gainer, The Wings of Reen, and finishing with Gundam Reconquista in G, which we will analyze specifically through the movie version that we have not talked about yet, that finished up in 2022.
Yes, a smorgasbord of anime that we have not yet gotten, well, other than all the ones that we have gotten to, but a lot of the stuff we haven't gotten to. And some I've watched, like Brain Powered and Overman King Gainer, that I've been like chomping at the bit to do podcasts on for years at this point.
And some that we'll be approaching with fresh eyes, because I think we're going to do something special, at least with Zeta Gundam, as our kind of mid-season premiere. And we'll see, we have some other thoughts and plans for some of the other Gundams that we will work out as we get closer. So, of course, when we get closer to Season 6, Part 2, you'll hear more about that. But hey, Part 1, we've recorded the almost everything for Part 1, and it's coming out really well. I'm very excited about it. We will have some other great surprises for you guys this season. Sean has written for us a new theme song for this season about Mr. Tomino and his crazy kill-em-all tendencies. And our in-house composer, Thomas, is, as we record this, currently working on the music for that to create a final song that we will have a special theme song for. We have another song from Thomas that'll be a brand new ending theme for the show, so we will have a proper new intro and outro for our bold new season. And I think it's going to be a really fun one. I'm really proud of these episodes. I think, part of the idea with the Tomino-thon is I think I can speak for both of us on this, Sean. We weren't going to do it until we were sure we could do it right.
Yes. And
I think we've been doing it right. And I am very excited to share it with everybody come March 15th as we kick off our Tomino-thon.
Yes, absolutely. It's one of the kind of like biggest projects we've done in terms of podcasting, again, because it's just like the level of both the quantity of what we're watching, but also wanting to go more in depth, do more of that research, all that good stuff. And yeah, I'm very, very happy with how it's turned out so far. Very excited to continue to record them and excited for people to be able to listen to them, because we've been recording them for quite a long time at this point.
Yes, so be excited, tell your friends, tell everyone who wants to hear us talk about Tomino that Season 6 of Japanimation Station will officially kick off on March 15th. We'll be there through the end of May. We'll take a little bit of time off on the summer, come back and finish up the season. So 2026 will be the year of Tomino on the podcast. And what better way to celebrate 2026 than that?
I'm very excited, and we'll be able to answer the age-old Tomino question: will you be able to survive?
愛しているただ君が一番大切だから夫婦としてダメだよってあなた言った自分にできないことをそれで自分に言い聞かせ続けるあなたは未来が叶うことだけを保証する